It'll
Give it a
say
minute.
live. There it is.
Yep,
All right, there we go. So this
We're
is Group
live.
C, and we're going to start out with Cheyenne.
Okay, so we were just talking about how we have to relate the prompt to our own life, and we need to talk about if we're either a follower or a leader. I would say right now, currently, I would define myself more in the follower category just because at my job, I'm a representative, like the first level. I don't really know what you call it, but I don't manage anybody, so I could only describe myself as a follower right now. But it's okay because I like my leader, so it helps me. Basically, I would call myself a leader because I mean a follower
Mhm.
because I like my leader's credibility, and I like that he's competent, trustworthy. Um, he's the dynamism for him. He always gives us our stats of the week, but he like decorates the stat sheet and little special stuff that it's creative and also shows us what we where we rank. What else? What else? Does anybody want to comment on anything or ask me any questions or
Well,
go?
I was going to say, so that's in your professional life, but in your personal life, do
Oh,
you feel like
sure.
you're more of a leader?
Yeah, okay. So and then in my personal life, I'm a mom, so what I say goes.
Yeah.
So I would definitely define
course.
You have
myself
all
as
the
a leader
power.
person. Right, yeah. And I try to definitely be a good leader and a credible leader to my daughter and make sure that I lead the right set the right example. So yeah, I definitely feel strongly about both. Like I'm okay with being a follower at work because I like my leader and I feel like I'm productive, and then I'm okay with being a leader at home because I love being a mom.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Anyone else? That's all I had.
All right, who's going next?
I'll go next.
Okay.
For me, for when I read chapter 5, I work in the corporate office and with a lot of people. And in our office, we do a lot of reward power, which is rewarding people when they do something good, when they're working on something for a really long time. And we have a lot of groups, a lot of engineers that work on these releases that take months. And we like to treat them to a timeout, for team building and getting together and mingle and eat. So I liked reading that one power. And my company is very diverse. There's a lot of people who are Indian background. So
That's good.
it's
I heard that. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say I read in a previous course that diversity in leadership is best for production. I mean, in
Yes.
organizations, diversity in organizations is best for
Yeah.
production because all the different ideas
I'm learning a
collab.
lot from my boss because his culture is completely different than mine. Like they're very all about family and very just generous and nice and accommodating. So it's been a really good job, and he's an awesome leader too. So
Cool.
I'm learning a lot from this job. And I have to say, I'm a leader. I'm more of a follower at work because I have a lot of leaders. But like Cheyenne, I'm a leader at home with my 2 boys.
Yeah,
That's
sure.
important. Got to be with 2 boys, I imagine. Oh my goodness.
Right.
And I do at work lead some events, so maybe sometimes I am a little bit of a leader here at work, but mostly a follower.
Ain't nothing wrong with it.
Yeah. Nelson, you okay with me going next?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. All right. So for me, in the book when I was reading, I thought it was really interesting about the power and leadership, because a lot of people get into a leadership role because they want power, not necessarily to lead people, but they have an agenda of their own that they want to enforce. And I think it's important that when you become a leader, not to enforce that kind of power, but to empower your employees or your partners at work to have a say in what's going on. And I think that fosters a better working relationship and a better relationship in general with all the people that you're working with. So I'm not a big power monger kind of person. At work at Starbucks, we kind of foster that. We try to, I'm a supervisor, so I work with my manager. Even though she's in charge of me, we kind of work things out together all the time. And she always asks my opinion and I ask her opinion. So it's kind of really cool how it works out. As far as diversity goes, I think that diversity in the workplace is awesome. You know, the only way people get to see that there's an opportunity for everyone to be promoted within the company is to see that in, you know, at work, to see the diversity, to see other people that have diverse cultures and differences, be able to move up through the company and be the same kind of, have the same kind of leadership ability that other people do. So I think diversity is key. You have to have it. And I would agree that it probably increases productivity immensely because people can see that they can actually get somewhere rather than, you know, because of their culture being held back or oppressed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. No, you're right, because there are people at my company that will take 3 weeks vacation and go back to India to see their family. And it's absolutely okay here for them to go do that, you know, to recharge and, you know, visit their family and come back refreshed. So, yeah.
Cool.
Hi, Stephanie.
Hi. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Sorry. I was on my laptop before. Now I'm on my PC, so want to make sure it works.
We're just talking about chapter 10 and 5. You got anything you want to say real quick? Or Nelson can go.
Yeah, I can go, Stephanie, if that works for you, and then gives you maybe a minute to gather your thoughts. I don't know if that works.
Yeah, that would be great.
Alrighty. Well, I mean, for me, in my job, what I do, I don't really, I guess, consider myself a leader. Technically, my job says I'm a manager, but I don't have anyone that reports directly under me. It's mainly with my job position. I'm working with other salespeople and other companies that sell the products that my company makes. And I guess with that, there's like some type of leadership, but it's mainly more of a coaching opportunity for me to help sales guys learn how to sell the products that we sell, and then to go out and work with them, as well as help grow their business any way that I can, or whatever they're really kind of asking me to do. So with all of that, it's more of a give and take. There's not really they have to report to me or anything like that. So I would say I'm more of a friend on the side rather than a follower or a leader with my job. I definitely have people that I report to, so I am a follower that way. And most of what my leadership has been a reward base. So always complimenting, because it's sales, it's always really praising the guys who do really well or sell something, you know, or make a big sale or something like that. And then not really saying too much about the guy that isn't doing everything or isn't getting those big sales or something like that. So it's trying to put it in more of a competitive base there. But it's not super, super crazy like that. So it's not really high pressure sales, but it's still there. So that's just any sales job. So, but as far as like, I don't know, I've got a lot of mixes in here with all the different leadership styles that we talk about in this chapter. But when it comes to diversity, I feel like what I work in with trucking, it's a really small microcosm of a subculture within a culture. Like the trucking industry is just years behind in some cases the rest of the world. So you can go, like I can go to a super nice state-of-the-art facility where these guys just have like the nicest trucking equipment on earth. And then the next day I can go into a shop in the middle of nowhere, Idaho, that has like a dirt floor that someone has had for years and years. And they know this part because it goes to this red truck and this goes to this blue truck, which makes no sense. So you deal with a huge disparity there, and it's fun, but it's very low context culture in trucking. If a guy hates you or doesn't like your product or doesn't like you, he will tell you to your face. and there's no
guessing.
So it's kind of interesting to deal with. It's also really nice. There's not too much guessing going on. No one's saying, well, you kind of need to do this to get this. It's like, well, if you do this, we'll buy this. So there's still a lot of
straightforward, laid out on the line.
There's still a lot of like handshake agreements. It kind of feels like the old West.
The gentleman's agreement.
Yeah, exactly. So it's definitely completely different than the rest of my life and what I do personally. So that's it. And I mean, me and my wife, I'm not a leader. I'm not really too much of a follower. We work together there. At least I try to think we do. I'm probably more of the follower than anything. So
that's the safe zone when you're
So
married.
you're the opposite. Yeah. You're like, you feel like not much of a, kind of more of a leader at work than you do at home, and then we feel more of a leader at home than we do at work.
Well, for me, though, I'm kind of a leader at work because I have baristas that work underneath me, and then I am a leader at home because I have a daughter as well. So I kind of get both of those.
So you just win all the way.
I don't know if it's winning, but sure is a lot of work.
Yeah, I was going to say. Sounds like it.
Shoot. Well, Stephanie, for you?
All right. My leadership style right now I'm technically a follower. I am being promoted in like 2 weeks back to a shift supervisor. I was before, but now I'm in a completely different environment again because I was in a much slower store than I am now. I kind of worry sometimes as a follower, there's a little bit too much coercive power going on, especially during our peak time, because my boss wants us to be faster, but it was like, because right now I think we have the slowest times in the area. We're the busiest, but we have the slowest times for taking care of customers. So she wants to change that, especially since we have a new district manager. So they're kind of really pushing all of this. But,
right.
The problem I'm having is, like one day, the other day, I was on bar, and she comes up and she says, "We need to be faster. You're going too slow." Okay, that to me just doesn't. That's not very helpful for as a follower. That doesn't help me. What I need you to do is tell me, okay, what is it that I'm not doing, or what should I be doing instead? Do you need me to call for help sooner? Do you need, am I not following the sequencing correctly when making drinks? Something. But just telling me I'm slow or telling us we need to go faster, it's not encouraging. It's not helpful.
No,
so
it's too generalized.
It is. I need something specific. And I think that serves as a more of a negative persuasion than anything else. And I think especially since we have a lot of younger baristas, I think they go straight to the defensive right there.
Right.
I mean, I always try to, I think, what's the name of the one I would always go for is, not legitimate. I always try to either go for expert or referent power when I was a shift supervisor, and that's trying to go into again. I know exactly what I'm doing, so I try to use my knowledge to coach other baristas to get them to follow routines properly. And, I think that's helped a lot of them, and that's kind of, and that's made a lot of improvements, especially for people learning how to work on the bar. Right. That's kind of like our biggest problem right now. There's like one or two who can go fast enough, and the rest,
slow it down.
Yeah, so it's made it kind of rough on those of us who are fast enough. So I've been trying to work as hard as I can to be that role model and be that expert, and help them improve.
How do you feel about?
No, go ahead. Go ahead first.
No, I was going to. That's exactly what I was going to ask you. So go ahead.
Diversity. It's a lot of. More so for our store. No, there are a whole lot of different types of people, but age is probably a huge one. We got a lot of younger baristas. We got a few with kids and a few right in the middle. It's all over the place, and it's kind of a culture clash, pretty bad, especially with the younger kids we have and with the older. So there's a lot of button heads there. So that's kind of been something that's difficult for us to work through. especially when it comes to trying to coach them, because like I think in any situation they go straight to the defensive, like, excuse me, I know what I'm doing.
Right.
Well, yeah. So, but otherwise, have you any of you guys seen the video on the dancing barista?
No.
Ever heard of it?
Yeah, I can't bring it to mind right now.
He's a young kid. He's actually a young kid who works. He has autism, and he got a job at Starbucks because he met the manager at a camp, and
I remember the story. Mm-hmm.
yeah, and he has like an uncontrollable like movement issue, and
Right.
so he dances when he's working on the bar. And I don't know, that story always comes to mind when I think of work, because showing how we really appreciate diversity and like how they'll help anybody. His dream was to work for Starbucks, and
Oh, that's
they were
awesome.
willing to make his dream come true, and that just makes me really proud to work here. I have my problems with certain with baristas, whether they're younger or, we just have a different culture. But when it comes to thinking something like that, it makes me really proud to work here. So
Awesome. How are we doing on time, Nelson?
I think that's about it. So we're
Okay.
right at the limit here. So
Perfect.
Good job, guys.
cool.
yeah. Sorry I was late again.
Alrighty. Well, no worries. I'm gonna end the live broadcast. See that part